Democratic lawmakers in the state legislature say they're ready for a showdown with Governor Abbott. This is all over his recent move to defund the state legislature.
Josh, we're already seeing signs that we're going to see great turnout on Election Day, too, not just early voting. We've been seeing some voters waiting here outside of the doors. Breaking news out of Miami this morning. Rescues are underway now at this partially collapsed 12-story condo building. You are looking live, so you see that partial collapse there on the right side of your screen. But I'd like to put that in local context. These are the counties of the Brazos Valley. The darker the green, the more vaccine. Hey, Carla, so in my right hand, I have the City of Bryan's order. In my left hand, I have Brazos County's order. But the thing is, inside, these are mostly the same. And it gives businesses the ability to say, hey, no shoes, no shirt, no mask, no service. So here's an experiment you can do at home with the kids, or you can just watch us right now that'll show you where you might be missing. So Josh is all ready to go. He's gonna wash his latex gloves hands. Here's his soap.
Okay.
All right, Josh, now give it a little scrub, the way you normally would.
Just a bit, yep.
Okay, so he's washing kind of the way a lot of us wash. All right, now show us where you've missed.
Okay.
What do you see?
So for people to claim, the media or anybody else, that there is no election irregularities, it's beyond the pale to be.
Well, what the media has been saying, including us, is that there's not widespread evidence or not evidence of widespread voter fraud, which of course is what would be needed to change the results of this election. It would have to be widespread. And if that's how many doses are administered every week, we'll reach herd immunity on April 10th of next year. The dangerous and historic heat wave in the Pacific Northwest is slowly loosening its grip. The heat is also straining the power grid on the East Coast. Doesn't that sound familiar? New Yorkers received a text alert last night urging them to limit energy usage. I'm glad that's in the past for us, at least for now, Max.
Yeah, exactly.
Governor, this week, the Brazos County Health District told us they don't believe we've reached the peak of cases here locally, and we're not the only kind of county reporting that sort of modeling. So how does the state reconcile reopening, albeit slowly, while public health officials in some areas are saying the worst is yet to come? One day you wake up and you're an adult in charge of your own finances. How did that happen? Some of us were ready for that day, and some of us weren't.
Yeah, so how can we help the next generation?
Nick, what if I don't want to talk to my kids about money at all? Can somebody else do it for me?
You know, actually someone can.
You've just been watching live as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi uses strong motifs of the Constitution and constitutionality to announce a formal inquiry. We'll take the 90s if it means we can maybe dry out just a little bit. Yeah. Thanks for joining us this morning on BVTM. We're sending you out live over Kyle Field. See you back tomorrow, 4:30 a.m.
With plenty of vaccines available, getting the COVID shot is now, for most of us, a personal choice. You've got all the appropriate information out there. You know when and where you can go get your shot, and you can even talk to your doctor and decide. But for one community in Brazos County, that's not necessarily the case. Getting the right information and easy access isn't as convenient, and that is showing up in the data. News 3's Kathleen Ninke shows us why.
17 years ago, Maria moved to Bryan from her native Guatemala for
security, safety.
Despite being undocumented, she has felt safe here, especially at Santa Teresa Catholic Church.
Yes, yes, completely.
Until the pandemic changed everyone's reality.
Before I was vaccinated, I worried a lot.
Now, Maria's had the shots.
I did it for my children.
But she says many of her neighbors have not.
Demasiado. Too many.
In Brazos County, Hispanic and Latino people make up 26% of the population, 30% of COVID-19 cases, and less than 18% of COVID-19 vaccinations. Jamie Washburn at the Brazos Interfaith Immigration Network knew this would be a problem for Hispanic and Latino residents.
I would say right from the beginning. Bill Gates is putting a chip in your arm, or, oh, there's the side effects, it's too new, and that is spread really quickly in the immigrant community.
So they got on Spanish language radio, worked to make social media videos with trusted church leaders, and started a Q&A hotline.
Sobre el COVID con el Padre Víctor.
Because Brazos County Latinos often work 2 or 3 jobs during vaccine hub hours and can't take off, they've organized after-hours clinics like this one. And because many don't have internet access, they worked with the county to start a phone registration system. Another issue, in the beginning, registration forms were in English only, something the health department regrets.
It was an oversight on our part.
Santos Navarrete is Brazos County's health director. He says they're working to correct this disparity in Hispanic vaccinations.
It was just an issue of the funding, and we were overwhelmed.
Now, with money for a flexible mobile vaccination unit, including 2 Spanish-speaking team members.
If they need us to come out to wherever, we'll send out the Brazos Valley Mobile Action Team at a moment's notice.
Which leaves one issue.
There's an issue of trust out in the community when it comes to, are they checking my immigration status or not?
Vaccine administrators are not checking immigration status, and undocumented people can use any government ID issued from any government. Still, Maria says it makes some in her community nervous.
They're afraid that their personal information might be given to someone else.
It's one more hurdle the community and the county are working to overcome, so we can all get back to life as we like it.
Irme a Disney. I want to go to Disney.
In Bryan, Kathleen Ninke, News 3.
In looking at more of that data, in Black and African American residents, the disparity is there, but it's smaller. And for white residents, the disparity flips the other way, a larger percentage of vaccinations than there are cases.
People often say that one of the most emotional parts of a cancer journey is losing your hair. Recently diagnosed breast cancer thriver Mary House decided to have some fun before she lost hers. This single mom and her 2 sons dyed their hair pink the day of her first chemo treatment a couple weeks ago. But for this College Station small business owner, she can no longer delay the inevitable. Her hair has been falling out, so she said it's time to just shave it off. Fortunately, she's got friends who wouldn't let her do it alone. I snagged an invite to Mary's shave party, and this is what I found.
We're going to get through this together.
Yeah, we will.
have
All of you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming. I didn't think that this many of you would want to come and hang out at my house and watch me get my head shaved, so.
But these friends did just that. And more.
All right, here's the before.
Several sat down to lose their hair themselves.
You nervous about how it's gonna look?
I'm more nervous about how it's gonna come back.
Next up, Mary's young sons took a turn in this dining room salon.
Because my mom has cancer and I love her.
You can let me know how it feels. How does it feel?
Oh, you
I love it.
After that, the Clippers stayed busy. A fellow cancer survivor.
I'm losing the hair from air.
The women shaving a design near the nape of the neck.
Sometimes you feel helpless in what you can do for somebody, and might as well show love. It's Thanksgiving. We're thankful for Mary.
Like this mother-daughter duo.
Right here beside us.
A sister-in-law. The list and the love goes on. And then
I'm ready.
The main event. As the hair goes, the tears come. But with Mary, the laughter is never far behind.
Andy.
In the end, not so much a loss as simply a change.
It feels freeing. I was ready.
With friends whose support remains constant.
I wouldn't have had it any other way. I love all of you guys.
Here in Waco, whiskey is worth the wait.
It takes years to play around with different varieties of grain and then make them into whiskey and then see what they taste like and then go back to the drawing board.
Jared Himstedt is the head distiller at Balcones Distilling. His latest project, the High Plains Single Malt, the first made with barley grown in Texas.
Malted also in Texas, cooked, fermented, distilled, matured, all in Texas.
Can you smell that Texas pride? Turns out there's some Aggie pride in that bottle too. The barley variety used by Balcones was developed at Texas A&M.
Yeah, we're not usually considered ideal environment for barley production.
AgriLife researchers like Clark Neely tested variety after variety of barley, trying to find one that would withstand hot and dry Texas.
So in addition to yield, quality is important.
The testing was for Blacklands malt in Leander. Then that Texas grown and malted barley went to balcones to become whiskey.
This is where all the magic happens. It's loud in here.
The distillers kept the rest of the formula pretty basic. For now.
We wanted the end result to be about the grain differences and not anything else. Now that we have it,
Balcones Distilling's usual barley comes from Scotland, and they're not buying this Texas grain to save money.
no, this is much more expensive.
But it's about more than that.
Supporting local stuff, local agriculture, the bigger picture of the impact of Texas whiskey on the economy. But your ultimate goal is to make the best whiskey you can. So when those things can converge.
That's where the taste test comes in. So what is the difference between these two whiskeys in front of us?
The only difference between these is going to be the raw material, which is the malted barley.
One from Scotland and one from Texas. To me, the spice felt different.
Yeah.
And I mean, frankly, this one just tastes like Texas, I think.
Yeah, here we go. Whatever Texas tastes like.
We're
finding out. We're finding out little by little.
Kathleen Ninke, News 3.